Give me one player who is a must re-sign. Just one player. So there's a lot of free agents. The one guy that they have to re-sign no matter what.
Man, the guy that I think they need to resign, I don't think they are. And that makes it kind of weird for it to be a must be resigned. But to me, it's Laken Tomlinson. That's the guy that they need to resign. And it's the thing that's most perplexing to me, Jesse, that they're even letting him get to free agency, because I truly believe Cincinnati, Miami are just going to come in and drive up the market too high to where the 49ers just can't afford it, or whatever the 49ers offer, it's not going to be enough to Laken because he sees no income tax in Miami, or maybe Cincinnati overpays because of the dire need that they have with their offensive line. It's just, for me, I've laid it out on my channel, I've laid it out on your channel. I have no faith that the 49ers know how to scout this position through the draft. I just feel that they always either pick the wrong guy, they reach for the wrong guy, or they pass on the right guy. They've passed on Tristan Wirfs to get Javon Kinlaw. They passed on Creed Humphreys to get Aaron Banks. Like, they reached for Mike McGlinchey, and even though McGlinchey, is a full 4-year starter, and is very good at the run blocking scheme. I mean, for being picked top 10 or whatever he was picked, you're not getting the production that you'd like to see. It's not like a Joe Staley or, anybody else that's usually top 10 in the first round. Like, it's not that type of stalwart on the offensive line that you're getting. So this regime just does not a good job. The best offensive linemen that they have, Trent Williams, Laken Tomlinson, Alex Mack, none of them were drafted by the team. You round out the rest of the starters. Brunskill wasn't drafted by this team. McGlinchey was the only starter that was drafted by this team. When he went down, Tom Compton, another guy that was drafted on the team. Both of those could be considered, some of the weaker links on the offensive line. So I just really think a guy that's been healthy for this team, a guy that's produced at a high level, I don't understand it. I don't really understand it, Jesse. To me, that's a guy that you have to sign, but it looks like they're not going to. So I'm pretty confused by that.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's try to figure it out. Let's peel back the onion, so to speak. So, I think a big reason is you look at where he's going to fall. He's going to fall anywhere in that 12 to 14 million a year range, right? And that's steep. I understand it. Completely been healthy. And that tells me that they do probably believe in Banks and or Jalen Moore. Maybe they have a contingency plan. I don't know, but losing a very good left guard who's been healthy, who's been consistent, just was a reserve on the Pro Bowl team, plays very well next to Trent Williams, who also had a lot of great things to say about him while trying to bring along a young quarterback. That is a tough pill to swallow for sure. But I'm going to cheat a little bit on this one. And I have a trick up my sleeve, even though I'm wearing short sleeves here. I do have a trick up my sleeve. And I didn't tell you about this, but I think the answer is nobody. I don't have anybody in this free agency for the 49ers that I am absolutely freaking out about losing. Now, there are guys that I would like to bring back. Don't get me wrong. But if they lost everybody, knowing that the core, and you talked about this earlier, knowing that the core is in place and that Trey Lance is going to bring something new, they've revamped this coaching staff, I fully trust that they'll figure out a way to fill out the roster with or without any of these players. So if they want to bring them back, great. If they lose them all, I'm really not worried about it. I think the 49ers are going to be fine. I think all the players that are free agents are expendable. So to me, I'm not stressed out either way about it.
Hey, man, you're a better man than I when it comes to that, because I believe that at every other position other than the offensive line. So I just, I just think that offensive line is imperative to this offense's success. The running game is imperative based off of it. Having a young quarterback is based off of it. And, the offensive line, the more and more I look at it, they weren't that great this year. You know what I mean? I think they were smart by maybe shifting everything towards the left side, so it kind of saved that right side of the offensive line. But we'll see, man. I don't know. Like, what if you can't push it to the left anymore because that left isn't as strong now? So I don't know. I mean, like we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I do trust this regime. I do think that they're going to make the right choices. Obviously, I believe that there's a plan there. Just for me at this moment, not knowing what those moves are gives me a little bit of pause, a little bit of that anxiety that I don't see them going all in on this offensive line. So we'll see.
No, that's totally fair. We actually have a Steeler fan in here.
Nice.
Steeler Nation 412. Thanks for tapping in. He says, I will take Jimmy G. He's a winner. But I wouldn't hate the idea of the rumor of soaking around Pittsburgh with Winston starting. Yeah, for you guys, I really do think Jimmy makes sense. And this has kind of been the writing on the wall for a while. I would say 1A would be the Steelers. Or excuse me, 1B would be the Steelers, 1A would be Washington. I think Washington, to me, is the best fit based off of what they have going, but I think the Steelers would be a great fit. My question is are you going to draft another quarterback, and how do you spend assets to get both Jimmy G and draft a quarterback? That's a lot of assets in this draft to give up to go get two quarterbacks. So that would be my question. I also think that you guys would be great. Like, when I look at Mitchell Trubisky, that's the team that I think works best for him. He won't be expensive. He is mobile. He's got a good enough arm. They already built the offense to be one that can be ran. Pretty basic, pretty simple. I think Trubisky can execute everything. I think he would be the guy that I would go after if I was the Steelers, but Jimmy G would be a good fit. And I'm happy that you're happy. And because of that, no bad things will be said about Jimmy for the rest of this episode, because we want you to feel good about getting Jimmy G if it does happen. So there you go.
I can't.
Sunil, no bad things.
Sunil, I can't promise.
Sunil,
I'm just saying. I don't know what topics are coming up, so I can't promise. But hey, I'm with Jesse as of now. Hey, prop up Jimmy. Take him. He needs a good home, and we know Pittsburgh is a great organization. I love their coach. I love their owner. I love that organization. I love their running back, their receivers. So absolutely, Jimmy is the solution in Pittsburgh.
There we go.